Hebrews chapter 5. Hebrews chapter 5, verse 14. This is today's theme, senses exercised. Senses in exercise. It says here, but solid food. Say solid food. It is for those who have reached maturity. That is, those who, by reason of use, have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. Say, inside the church. Yes, because to discern evil in the world, in the street, anyone can discern that, look, that is bad. But here inside, discern evil within the church. How do you know what is bad and what is good? So, solid food. It is necessary that you have exercised your senses. Your senses get some exercise within the Christian convictions, so that you may not be a Christian where every wind of doctrine carries you, because I have seen people who learn grace quickly. However, they have such weak senses that any wind, any comment, any argument, at the moment someone said something and they are immediately scandalized, you know? As they do not have. It seems that he learned the mysteries in the letter. He learned the same thing that you learned. Look, yes, this is so, this is not done. You do not baptize, you do not do this, you do not anoint with oil, you do not fast, you do not watch, you do not offend Christ with those works of the flesh. But then any commentary, any wind of doctrine envelops him, and you never see him again. We don't see him under that coverage. We see him adrift. In grace, speaking grace, but adrift. We do not see him in the unity of the Spirit. And the reason for that, the reason why the apostle talks about that is because of verse 11. Let's go to the verse. Look what it says. Concerning this there is much to say, and hard to explain, since you have become dull of hearing. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you again the rudiments of the first principles of God, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is unskilled in the word of righteousness, for he is an infant. But solid food belongs to those who are of full age, that is, those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. And notice if it is so that the next verse of chapter 6 then tells you how you should exercise your senses, and when you demonstrate that you have maturity, when you proceed as follows. Look at what verse 1 of chapter 6 says. Therefore, that is, if you are mature. Therefore, leaving the discussion of the elementary principles of Christ, let us go on to perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith toward God. Exercise, the exercise of the senses, is very important. Very important. I was just commenting that this week I have seen that I have a lot of people around the church who watch, play my cassettes, but they have no discernment. Anyone comes along, they talk and entangle others. And I have learned the word that way for many years. But they get easily entangled. Someone comes along and tells them, look, be careful with the apostolate. At the moment someone says to them, look, they're idolizing him too much, things like that, their senses are not exercised. The senses are not exercised. You have to exercise your senses to know what is good and what is evil. You have to understand what is right and what is wrong, what is harmful and what is not harmful. In other words, that you clearly know that, so that you may have a clear conscience, and so that you can maintain a good testimony and stand firm in your way of thinking. But that happens if you have your senses exercised.